Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who've been following my videos for some time now, do you guys notice anything different? That's right. Hell yeah, I got a green screen. I had a friend recently hook me up with one, and it actually wasn't as crazy as I thought it was. It's been something I've been wanting to get for a long time, but then it was just like trying to get a green screen and trying to figure out how it works. I thought it was a lot more complicated than it really was, but really it's just getting the green screen, changing the OBS settings, and just kind of just changing some sliders depending on the lighting and everything. So not that crazy. If any of you guys need help trying to get yours set up, now I know how it works, so I can help you out. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the video. This video is going to be about Dark Dimension 4 and what my experiences have been, what my plans are, and any regrets I've had. So this video is going to be good for you if you have not entered Dark Dimension 4 yet, so you know which characters to upgrade, or maybe you're currently going through Dark Dimension 4 now, and depending on this this advice, you might want to change up how you're going to approach it. So let me actually first start off by showing you where I've been so far in Dark Dimension 4. So let's scroll away all over here, and in Dark Dimension 4, I am stuck on I finished all the global nodes, so I'm stuck trying to get into the cosmic nodes. And I'll just kind of quickly show you how I progressed so far, and then I'll go into detail about the character choices I've made. So, I mean, starting off, like, the first 3 nodes, you can use any tier 15 characters, as long as you have 5 tier 15 characters. And then here you can see my attacks. It took me 2 attacks. I got Mr. Sinister, Sabretooth, Ghost, Thanos, and Baron Zemo. So my approach was that, like, I was trying to find characters to first take into Dark Dimension 4 that were going to overlap with global nodes, because global is the first character trait specific nodes that we're going to go into after these first 3. So you see the first node took 2 attacks, second node took, what is this, actually no, sorry, yeah, 2 attacks, and then after that it took about it took about 6 attacks. And then after that, it took me 6 attacks here. And yeah, and so those are pretty easy. Definitely first 3 nodes were pretty manageable. Actually, wrong button. And then for the first node of the global nodes, these are the 4 characters I took into. I took Mr. Sinister, Ghost, Baron Zemo, and Sabretooth. And then so I took 2 attacks. My preference wasn't to try to do one-shots, because I knew that I was going to get stopped in this process. So I wasn't trying to make videos about one-shotting nodes. I just wanted to do enough damage as I could, and then try to make as much progress as I could. So then for the second global node, it took me 5 attacks. And then for the last one, that was really hard. This one took me 21 attacks, and I did not refresh the power cores every day. So it took me 21 days just to complete the global nodes. But hey, check it out. Like, I'm stuck at the cosmic nodes, and it's been about a couple weeks so far. So I think the takeaway thing for the global nodes is that it's so, like, it doesn't really matter what you take into global. Like, you're gonna be most likely roadblocked into progressing forward due to gear. So you can most likely choose any global characters you want, but make sure that the gear that you use for those global characters is not going to handicap you moving forward. So yeah, I'm actually almost going to be getting into Cosmic Node pretty soon, which I'm excited about. And Scopely did recently make changes so that they make orange gear more accessible. That's going to really benefit you trying to get gear 15 or tier 15 gear. So let's go ahead and jump into the global section of my roster, and I'll show you what characters I've chosen. So I favorited the characters. Actually, why? Okay, sorry. Sorry. Go ahead and disregard Phoenix because she's a legendary character. I just wanted you to bring your attention to Mr. Sinister, Ghost, Sabretooth, and Baron Zemo, and I'm going to talk about my experiences with them. So Mr. Sinister, I chose him as my first mutant character. Sometimes people will decide between Mr. Sinister or Emma Frost, but Mr. Sinister I think he's a little bit cheaper in his gear requirements, but his cloning was very invaluable. Definitely was very helpful because a lot of characters in Dark Dimension 4 are very good to clone. They offer lots of utility, and that's what Dark Dimension 4 is about, just utility, controlling the fight. So, I mean, for him, like, I could upgrade the basic to ensure I get an assist from Sabretooth, but I knew that I was probably gonna be blowing through the global nodes pretty quickly, so it didn't really matter too much. And he's a healer, ISO, because that's how I have him normally. And then let's go ahead and talk about Sabretooth. He's also Marauder, so Sabretooth is good. He has synergy with Mr. Sinister. Not a lot of people may go with Sabretooth. Some people might go with like Captain America or Black Widow or other kind of global options. But I really like Sabretooth because, first of all, he's really cheap. He only takes a minimal amount of gear pieces to get him to tier 15. And at least for Marauders, like in terms of Blitz, I like having my Blitz teams balance as much as possible. So a lot of people, I'm sure, they have like a really high level Mr. Sinister, Emma Frost, and then all like the rest of the characters that might be kind of lower. So sometimes if I want to like make sure my Blitz fights are very consistent and I win consistently, it does help to balance out the power levels. So, and I'm in a really important room in War Defense, so having a really good Sabretooth buffs up my overall power level and it looks really intimidating. And he's alright, Sabretooth, did some damage. I made him as a skirmisher, and I highly recommend you make Sabretooth as a skirmisher for Dark Dimension 4 because you want him applying the vulnerables, and you also want him to strip the vulnerables, you want him to strip deep or buffs on the enemy. And as long as you have him as a level 3 ISO for skirmisher, you'll go ahead and do that. And since I finished the global nodes in Dark Dimension 4, I switched him back to Raider just for my usual purposes with Marauders. So yeah, that was Sabretooth. Really good, cheap investment. I don't regret it, I probably could have, now looking back, global nodes took me a long time. I could have probably took Emma Frost or something, but I'll need that mutant gear soon in the upcoming nodes. So yeah, no regrets with Sabretooth. Highly recommend him. And then Ghost was the star of the show, man. Like seriously, like her offense down every turn was really helpful. And then I upgrade the ultimate and the passive. Those are really good recommendations. Didn't really see the other two skills as necessary to upgrade. And I was fortunate to get a 6-star upgrade with 6 red star with Ghost. And I'm really happy. I was worried though because by upgrading Ghost really high, I was worried that it would make the Pimtech team really imbalanced. They do horrible in Blitz or any other or mainly Blitz, But really, it's fine. Having a really strong Ghost just makes you perform tremendously well in a lot of game modes. Blitz, I have no problem winning on Blitz Sim full auto with Pimtech. When doing the Greek raids with the Pimtech team, Ghost is a star of the show. And even more, a high level Ghost can really just mess you up because she dodges a lot, she heals a lot with her ultimate, and she knocks back turn meter with her basics and with her counters as well. So Ghost was definitely a good choice. I'm really glad I went with her. Everyone should go with Ghost when they're going to Dark Dimension 4. And the last character I want to talk about is Baron Zemo. Baron Zemo's great. For Baron Zemo, it was more about his usage outside of Dark Dimension 4. He's great in real-time arena, great in any kind of PvP format. And I foresaw that there might be some usage in arena to counter Doom, which is the case, which is true. And even in War, he's such a good plug-and-play character in War, whether you use him on offense or defense. So no regrets there. He didn't really do much in Dark Dimension 4, and I did change his ISO from a Raider to a Skirmisher, and once again it was helpful just to apply those vulnerability stacks, and also to hit targets that are vulnerable, and it'll clear a buff. So that was his purpose, and some people might choose other characters now, but I still was glad to choose Baron Zemo. So no regrets there. And then, let's go into what my experience has been with the most recent type of Dark Dimension 4 nodes, and that's going to be Cosmic. And I've been stuck on Cosmic for, it feels like several weeks now. And I'll show you who I've gotten so far. So first off, I have Thanos, and I chose Thanos mainly because the Black Aura is my team in Arena. I really want to make my Black Aura as strong as possible, so no question of the doubt, I chose Thanos. He's the first character I took to 7 red star with promotional credits. And so we'll see how he does. I don't think he'll do much, but he's just going to be a punching bag. But I'm going to have other characters that are going to kind of carry the fight. But I think his energy that he's going to grant with his passive to adjacent characters, that's going to be very valuable when I eventually do make kills. So Thanos is cool. And then touching onto Thanos, we're going to go into Proxima Midnight. Once again, I chose Proxima because she's part of the Black Order. I want to get her as strong as possible. And, she has some good skills that will help in Dark Dimension 4. She has her offense down. She has her stun. And, yeah. And so, and she's skill. There's not a lot of characters where you use skill gear for. At least in the early part. I used Baron Zemo. And so I think Proxima coming after that was a pretty good choice. And, in terms of, some people think if they should bring Corvus Glaive as another skill cosmic character. I don't think so for the first run. Just because, Corvus Glaive is quite more expensive. And Proxima adds more utility to the fight. And it does feel like Black Order is probably going to be phased out of the arena or main meta soon. We'll see. There's rumors of Silver Surfer or something. But yeah, so I don't even know if I'll take Corvus Glaive for the second round. But anyway, so yeah, Thanos, Proxima Midnight, and then so here's the two last choices that I kind of was really going back and forth with the whole time I was planning my Dark Dimension 4. Hela and Minerva. These two characters are really, really expensive. Let's first talk about Hela. So Hela, gosh, out of all the characters I'm planning on taking to Dark Dimension 4, she has the highest gear requirements. She has the most amount. And I remember thinking back a month ago, I'm telling myself, man, I would not choose any character that requires 90 gear 15 pieces. Don't do it. But then over time, just based on comments from other content creators, other people on Reddit, it did seem that people said that Hela is worth the wait. She's worth the wait because if you don't go with Hela, let's say I went with Thor, which was my original plan. Thor doesn't really do much, He's slow. He has his stun, but after how many turns you need to wait for that? Sometimes you might even die before you even get a turn. Who knows? So I definitely I played the patient game. I was waiting for Hela, and it actually works out though because as you see, I have one piece left, and I need one piece left for Proxima, one piece left for Minerva. So at least with the kind of the amount of gear that I got over time, it was worth it. She's gonna summon Greg as her minion, and he's gonna get hit a lot. So that's gonna rewind the turn meter for the enemies. She has her ability to spread all the buffs. So I'm glad I waited for her. No regrets with Hela. And the last fourth character for Cosmic is going to be Minerva. I need her for the tech character, and once again, I'm only one slot away, and she's going to carry the team as well because her ultimate's going to drain a lot of health from the enemies, and she's going to keep the team nice and fresh. So, and I use Hela as a secondary team in Ultima 7. Our alliance hasn't done the Doom Rage yet, but I think she'll still be helpful there too. So yeah, definitely you'll get a lot of good use out of Minerva, and I'm glad I'll be able to get her at 7 stars soon with her Blitz coming up this coming week. So that's my plan for Cosmic. I think it's gonna go. I'm gonna breeze through the Cosmic nodes pretty well because I have such a good 4-person team with Thanos, Proxima Midnight, Hela, and Minerva. And so after that, I think we'll check out the city nodes, and I'm pretty sure I'll get stuck there a bit. And this is my plan so far. I'm going with Symbiote Spider-Man, and then so I think the general consensus is to go with 3 symbiotes. There's enough time that you can get probably 3 bio characters, and then the last one's some options. So Symbiote Spider-Man, I already took him to Gear 15. I actually took him to Gear 15 when I started Dark Dimension 4, and he was helpful for those first 3 nodes. I mean, man, he's such a beast. He does so much with his kit. And as you see, I'm actually really close to getting him at a 7-star. I'm actually planning to make a video kind of talking about that and see if it's worth it or not. So that's a little teaser for the next video I'm going to do. I just need to get that last 7 shards. But yeah, so Symbiote Spider-Man, he's going to be great helping me through the city nodes. And then the second character I'm taking is going to be Anti-Venom. And I'm almost upgrading him, I think I was kind of bottlenecked at this alien spores, but I saved up. And so he's almost done. And then the last symbiote is going to be Scream. And I'm choosing Scream over Carnage and Venom because she is the cheapest option, right? So by the time I finish the Cosmic Nodes, I think by that time I will have farmed enough bio gear to complete Scream. And then I just need to make sure I get the alien spores, which, may be possible or not. If I get really desperate, I'll buy the offer, which is 10 quantity of the shards for $15. I haven't had to do that yet, but if I get desperate, then I will. But I'm not too much of a rush for Doom anyways. So yeah, so Scream will be good. She offers good utility with all their skills, with bleeds, turn, rewind, disable, and offense down. So cool character, and this is where the last fourth spot gets interesting. I think like ideally, if there was a really good mystic character, I would go with that, because by the time I finish farming Hela in the cosmic nodes, no, never mind. Scrap what I just said. Yeah, last option we're talking about is just really between Punisher and Night Nurse. And Punisher was the ideal choice before the rework for Night Nurse with the Shadowland team. And I'm not really sure what I want to do yet. I think it's going to depend on how much skill gear I acquire, like after I finish Proxima Midnight, and then until I get to this point when I'm about to do the city nodes, because Punisher's ideal because I already have him at tier 14 naturally, and he's really good for that Defenders team. He does lots of damage. Like I use him in Offensive War, with Ultron, in Defenders to take on not so high power level Marauders. So he's ideal, but I've been hearing from people that Night Nurse is a really good candidate as well. She will actually perform better than Punisher, because she offers lots of good healing utility for the team. And you can see here actually tier 13, level 70, like at 5 red stars. This was my upgrade for Night Nurse way before the Shadowlands rework was a thing, or the Shadowlands team and her rework. Like I upgraded her to this power level back in the old Ultimates raids, like because she was the only healer we had, and up until then I highly regret bringing her to this power level. But now I have a chance to redeem myself, and not make this mistake of using her. But I don't know if it's worth it. But for me, because she is more expensive in terms of how many gear she needs for Dark Dimension 4 than Punisher. And I'm worried that if I upgrade her really high to tier 15, that she's gonna make that power level balance in my Shadowlands Blitz team off balance, and it's gonna be hard to win fights on Blitz Sim. Maybe it's not a big deal, it's just one fight, but that's just one thing I think about. So I'm really open between that fourth spot, whether it's going to be Night Nurse or Punisher. They both use skill gear. So I think it really depends that by the time I get to completing Scream as my fourth bio or my third symbiote, if I have a lot more skill gear, I might put in Night Nurse. If I'm kind of running low, then I'll go with Punisher just because he's cheaper. So that's my skill or my city plan. And the last part we're going to talk about is the legendary plan. And let's see here, legendary. So definitely going to hit some bottlenecks here. Ebony Maw, Dr. Octopus, Phoenix, and last slot is going to be Invisible Woman. And I'll go into that. So Ebony Maw, once again, Black Order. He's going to be using Mystic Gear. I'll be saving my Mystic Gear after I finish farming Hela. So I only need 4 slots. I'm going to be fine with him. And I use Ebony Maw as a backup character in Ultimates raid. So then we have Dr. Octopus. He actually is pretty cheap, He only needs 3 slots, 54 pieces of tech gear. And Dr. Octopus is amazing. He's so good in war. Offense, defense, whatever you need him for. And even in the raids too. So really good character. There's no question that you need to choose Dr. Octopus as the main tech character other than Shuri or Star-Lord. And then Phoenix, I've already started investing into gear into her, just because I don't need any mutant gear for the cosmic or the city nodes. So I'm actually almost done gearing up Phoenix, just one more slot. And yeah, even though they have Jubilee released, Phoenix is the main mutant you want to focus on, because I think a lot of the nodes were designed around her health steal that she gets in her special when she's Dark Phoenix. And then the last character, Invisible Woman. So I'm going to kind of zoom out though and kind of tell you my reasoning for Invisible Woman. The only reason I'm choosing Invisible Woman is because I look at the other options and I just can't see myself doing it, right? So let's start with Black Bolt. Black Bolt's bio. I can't choose him because I just finished all the city nodes that require all those bio pieces, and he's really expensive. I think he's 72 bio pieces. And then you have Nick Fury. Nick Fury is a skill character, but he requires 90 tier 15 gear pieces. Way too expensive. And then Star-Lord and Shuri, they're tech, right? but I'm going to be using those tech pieces for Dr. Octopus. So I can't see myself going with tech pieces for Star-Lord and Shuri. And then you have Magneto and okay, anyways, Iron Man, no one cares about Iron Man. But then you have Magneto and Jubilee. They're both mutants. Magneto, he does his ultimate, and then there's a long cooldown, so it's not really that great for the ultimate or Dark Dimension 4. But Jubilee, man, Jubilee is tempting. That fourth slot for Legendary is really between Jubilee and Invisible Woman. And I definitely would get more use out of Jubilee than Invisible Woman because I use her. Well, I don't use her in Ultimate 7 raids. I use the symbiote still, but she's gonna be great in the Doom raids for those mutant nodes. And Invisible Woman, I don't really use her that much, anymore. She's just on that Fantastic Four team for War Offense. So, I mean, unless they do some buffs to her with the Doctor Doom or maybe Silver Surfer coming out. I don't use her much, but she definitely is cheaper though, and that's the main reason why. Because by the time I finish the city nodes with the symbiotes, I'm gonna be starting to accumulate biogear, and that biogear could go to Invisible Woman. Ideally, I mean, who knows, right? What if I come across a surplus of mutant gear after Phoenix? Then I could bring Jubilee. It definitely would, but I just don't think that I will get enough mutant gear by the time I really start the legendary nodes. So I think to be safe, I'll probably not put any biogear pieces into Invisible Woman or Jubilee until the very end. And depending where I'm at, then I'll either go with Invisible Woman or Jubilee. But right now, I'm just going to go with Invisible Woman because she's cheaper, but I would get more use out of Jubilee. Kind of similar how I'm either going to go with Night Nurse or Punisher depending on my skill gear availability. So we'll see. But so far, Invisible Woman is the winner. But yeah, I mean that's it so far. With Doctor Doom, I don't think a lot of people are in a rush because he hasn't really changed the meta that much. I've encountered Doctor Doom in the arena, and there's just characters you can use to counter him. So that's why there's rumors about Silver Surfer coming out. He might make Doctor Doom better because Doctor Doom, his kit does allow a lot of different options. There's a lot of ways you can pair him with different characters, and you'll get different really crazy results. So, but even if they release Silver Surfer possibly, and he makes Doctor Doom so much better, I'm already kind of gonna go with my plan. I'm not gonna go spend hella crazy money to try to get Doctor Doom because he's OP crazy as heck. But yeah, so I hope this list of all my characters for Dark Dimension 4 was helpful for you, whether you're planning or you're currently in Dark Dimension 4. And I'd be always down to hear what characters you're gonna bring into Dark Dimension 4. If you need any tips or questions about how they perform, let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, so much, thanks so much for watching and supporting me on this channel. This green screen thing is so cool. It's just another progression towards trying to improve the quality of these videos, for my knowledge, just as a content creator, and just learning to get better at what I'm doing here, but also to make the qualities of better for you. So thanks again for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And as always, this is Pico signing out. I'll see y'all next time.